Hi everyone, welcome back. So another episode of Conscious Chats in a slightly different location this time. So instead of by the sea, I'm by the hills, which I think you all know by now is one of my favourite places to be. I cannot decide between sea and mountains, so I'm on this everlasting search to live somewhere with both, which is possible. Sun, sea, mountains. Anyway, that's a kind of off-piste. So today I wanted to talk to you about whether you feel like you're holding it all in. Like, do we need to stop holding it all together? Does that make us sick or mentally unwell? And I think really the answer is yes in a lot of ways. So in our society, we definitely do not embrace people going like off the handle. And now I'm not condoning people just going mad and being aggressive, not at all. But I think in the kind of aim of keeping things together and keeping things ticking over and being as productive as possible, which is obviously what we needed to be if we're going to work in the system, we're going to do a 9 to 5 and we're going to be productive and efficient and just keep spinning all these plates, we have to keep it together. But what about if we're not supposed to be spinning all the plates? And what about if it's okay not to have it all together? So recently I've been really exploring this in myself because I would like to talk more about us needing to release, us needing to honour our anger. I've been reading recently about this thing called sacred rage, and it's where you honour the anger and that kind of feeling of injustice is something that we can harness. So it's not going out and punching people in the face or anything like that. It's knowing, it's that thing that drives you. So everybody's got it. There's something in the world that they see, whether it's about dogs, being not rescued, or whether it's children starving, or whether it's war, or whether it's women's rights, or whatever it is. There's something, and probably many things, if you're an empath, and you're probably watching this, you probably are drawn to that. There's probably many things, but they are the things that give you that kind of sacred rage, we want to call it. Like, I just have to do something about this, and I will not stop until I've really, really tried to be a part of this. So that is a good way that we find an avenue for that. But what about in your everyday life? Do you ever feel like you just want to tell someone to F off or you want to scream and shout? And we just don't do that. So if you think back to how we might have lived before, we would have been physically using our bodies more. So in our jobs, we would have been growing vegetables and gathering and moving and on the move and building things. We would have also been dancing and chanting and singing around the fire. So there would have been a lot of movement, and there would have been a vent, there would have been a way to be fierce, to show your ferocity, like putting war paint on and roaring. That's amazing. But where is the option for that anymore? We don't really have an avenue for that. So we live our lives sat in front of screens. We come home, we sit in front of another screen. We go in a car where we're sat. All of these things are very sedentary, and even if you've got a mildly kind of active job, you probably feel like you're still in a box. So I'm going to ask you this: do you feel like you feel stuck in your life? Do you feel like you can't express? Do you feel like you've got to stay within the lines or within the cones and you're just sick of it? Because I definitely feel like this, and I know that other people resonate with this. So through the women's coaching that I do, I see this. I see this every day. Women coming to me feeling like they can't express their anger. They've just pent it up inside. And I know it's not just women, but I work predominantly with women, knowing that they can't speak when they're angry about something, or they speak when something is an injustice. They just can't find the words or the way to express it. And especially as women, we then get tarnished as the angry woman. I mean, goodness forbid that you be the angry woman, the emotional woman, the woman that's too much. So I have been exploring ways for us to find avenues to not just dispel and release this anger, this pent-up frustration feeling, but also to own it. Yeah, like I think we often will cry when we feel angry. That's one thing I've seen a lot, because we don't know how to be angry and how to express that. So in rewilding the course, and also in my retreats, specifically rewilding the women's retreat that I'm running in November, and the ones that I'm going to be running abroad, this is going to be a huge part of it. Finding that ferocity, finding that mother nature, that feminine roar, and being able to let it out. and finding avenues to let that out and let it be part of your life, so that you don't feel hemmed in by the lines. So that is not only finding a way to express it and release it, but also finding a way to use that in your life. So maybe that you do feel like you're in the lines and you're stuck in a box, because you are, because most of us are. We're told we have to be a certain way. There are societal expectations as a woman, expectations as a wife, as a girlfriend, as a mum, as in your job. And so those all, and again, it's not just for women, this applies to men as well. These expectations create us needing to stay in our lane, and that is not how we're supposed to live our life. We are free, we are wild, we have a nature, we're animalistic as well as evolved. How do we bring these two together and still be able to live around other people and have relationships, but be able to authentically express who we are and how we feel, and the world not to be scared of that? So one quick way is punching pillows. This is amazing. If you feel that you're getting that raw and you can't express, that is a really quick way to just feel better. That isn't a way to kind of channel it, that just kind of dispels it. So for me recently, I've been playing with, how do I channel this? How do I let this ferocity that I have inside me, which is my gift, my fire, is a lot of my gift. I feel, I'm an empath, this feeling of injustice. How do I let that come into my life and not just dispel it, not just push it away and not bury it down? When we bury it down, that's when diseases and heart attacks and womb issues come about. So if any of those resonate with you, please get in touch with me. So I'm going to pop all the information below this post for my retreats, my course, my coaching. Get in touch. We are here together to do this together and to find a way to feel better and to feel at peace every day. Lots of love.